everyone, welcome to another episode of rawradianthealth.com, and I'm Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today is Thursday, and today I want to answer some questions on coconut water kefir. Last summer I did a video showing how to make coconut water kefir, and over the past few months I've received many questions about coconut water kefir that I kind of want to answer them in a video and just, you know, get everything strained out with that, okay? So if you don't know what coconut water kefir, pretty much what it is, it's coconut water, fresh coconut from a Thai young coconut or a young coconut that has been fermented. The water inside of it has been fermented either with a probiotic starter or with kefir grains or just fermented on its own. And people like myself drink this every day because it's a great source of probiotics. It's bioavailable, it's living, it's fresh, and it's really packed with great living probiotics, which is great for your immune system. It's great for your intestinal health, and you know, for those of you out there that want to improve the quality of your skin, this is a really great way of doing it. Having a little bit of coconut water kefir, maybe a quarter cup to a half a cup a day. After a few weeks, you'll notice a difference in the texture of your skin. It gets quite soft, which is really nice. And that's just a reflection that your intestines are in good shape, because our skin is actually a reflection of what's going on in the insides. And so when you have really strong, good bacteria in your intestines, that means that you're digesting things properly and that there's a good balance going on in your body, okay? And so pretty much that's what coconut water kefir is. And now I'm going to get on to the questions. So, and if you haven't, you can just go and look up the video and watch it and see how you make it. It's very easy, it's very inexpensive, and it's just a great thing to bring into your diet, okay? So pretty much first question I got was about, can you use mature coconuts and the water inside that to make coconut water kefir? And the answer is actually no. You got to use the young coconuts, because the young coconuts, those young coconuts, like which you find are usually the green coconuts that come from the tree, or if you go to an Asian market, a lot of times you see this white coconuts. It's like the husk has been cut off and it's kind of cone shaped. That's a young coconut. And those young coconuts, the water inside of it is very sweet. It's full of sugar, and natural sugars, of course, and that's what probiotics live off of. Okay, all that bacteria, it eats up the sugars, and it's living off of it. It multiplies in there, everything. And if there's no sugar in it, the probiotics will die. They won't multiply, and they won't be able to live. So, thing is with mature coconuts is that it's a heavy fat content, and those mature coconuts are those brown coconuts, you know, with the hairy husk on the outside and difficult to open. It's a very high fat content in them and a very low sugar, so there's not enough sugar for the probiotics to live on. It's kind of like, you know, like dairy products, right? Like dairy, like yogurt. The probiotics live off of lactose. They eat up all the lactose, all the dairy sugar in yogurt, in dairy products, and that's how you create yogurt. So it's kind of like the same thing, that anything that is high sugar is a great thing to ferment. And once the fermentation process is done, then there's no more sugar left, okay? And that's when you know that something's been fully fermented. Now, someone's asked me before if there's any traces of alcohol, because usually that's what ends up happening, is that there's a little trace of alcohol. And yes, there is. All fermented products do have a slight trace of alcohol. It's not significant. It's not like actually having like an alcoholic beverage, which has been distilled, but there is a little amount of alcohol in there, okay? It's naturally occurring. I've been asked too, can people, if someone's on like a juice fast or a juice feast, can they incorporate this into the juice fast or juice feast? And the answer is definitely yes. This is a great thing to add in. You might not necessarily want to do like a coconut water kefir fast, okay? I've been asked that too before. Like someone can live off of that for a few days. And if anyone's ever tasted coconut water kefir, it's very tart, it's very astringent, that I would suggest more to do like a juice fast or juice feast and just have, a quarter cup of coconut water kefir every morning on an empty stomach before you have any of your green juices. That's a better way of going about it. Always good to have a balance, not to go too overboard with it. Now, I have a question about storing the coconut water kefir, and the question was because in the video I demonstrated to ferment the liquid in glass jars, and someone had asked if they can use plastic Tupperware, and the answer is yes, but I always prefer people to be using glass. Okay, you can, if for some reason you don't have any glass jars or bottles or anything and all you have is Tupperware, then fine, but just keep in mind that we want to get away from using plastics because it does leach out into the food, and it's a petroleum byproduct. It's just something you don't want to be using, and especially you don't want on a daily basis be using and touching your food. So, and the whole thing is, when you buy a jar of honey from the grocery store or any kind of products that come in glass jars, keep those jars, or ask your neighbors to keep their pickle jars for you and use that, that you don't have to go out and buy jars. You can just use what, comes with your food, or what comes in your neighbor's food. Everyone has glass jars lying around, and most people put them in the recycling bins. So, you can get this stuff for free, and it's better to use glass than plastic, okay? Next question is about, okay, so someone had asked me, what's the point in using like a probiotic starter or kefir grains to ferment coconut water when you can just do it with nothing, okay? Because you can ferment anything pretty much by just leaving it out, right? So what's the point in adding in a probiotic starter or kefir grains? The point of it is that even though the coconut water ferments on its own, it's going to have a lot more probiotics if you actually put a starter in, or if you put the coconut water kefir, especially the kefir grains, because the kefir grains are bacteria itself, and there's many strains of probiotics in it that if you just leave it out, it's kind of like you'll get a little bit of probiotics, but if you put those kefir grains in it, then you're going to get like thousands and thousands of times more probiotics in it and different strains. So it's kind of like, do you want to take a probiotic that's got like 1 part per billion, or do you want one that has 1 million part per billion? You obviously want to get the most, right? So if you got those kefir grains, use them. Don't just leave the liquid out to ferment on its own, especially if you have the kefir grains, which this person does. So use it if you got it. And another person had asked me, why, if I said that probiotics cannot live in high temperatures or in low temperatures, like if they're fully heated, or if they are frozen, why they die, then why is it they ferment yogurt using pasteurized yogurt as a starter? Okay, I hope this question you guys understand. And the main thing is that anything you leave out is going to ferment. And anything that is heated, like pasteurized or boiled, the probiotics are going to die. Same thing if it's frozen. If you freeze yogurt, there's no probiotics in there anymore. Okay, they're very delicate. And so why is it someone uses pasteurized yogurt and it's still as a starter, and it still ferments their dairy into yogurt? Their dairy, even if it was left out, if it's left out room temperature, will ferment into a substance. So whether you use the starter from pasteurized yogurt or not, it's going to ferment, okay? So I wouldn't really rely on pasteurized products to get your probiotics. And the last question I had about this is where to actually get coconut water kefir grains, okay? And what they are, they're water kefir grains. And I would go to thekefirlady.com and get it from her. She's great, and she can answer your questions even better than me. So go to kefirlady.com and get your kefir grains, and check out my video on how to make coconut water kefir. So sign up today for the 10-day juice fast. It's coming up next week, April 1st, okay? And have a fabulous, fabulous day, everyone.